What's up, guys? Hope everybody's all doing well. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like and subscribe. That'd be greatly appreciated. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the trilogy. Wilder vs Fury 3 is happening this weekend over there in Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, this fight maybe hasn't quite got the buzz that the first two fights that they had together had, simply due to the fact that Tyson Fury put on such a clinic in the second fight and, had a very dominant stoppage victory over Deontay Wilder. Now, this fight, I am expecting Fury to come out on top again, and I do believe, he should be the favorite, substantial favorite that he is going into this fight. But Deontay Wilder is still extremely dangerous, and there are a lot of guys I see online picking Wilder to win. They say they've got the feeling that there's something in the air, that Wilder's going to catch him with the right hand and, completely turn the heavyweight division upside down. Now, I don't see that quite happening. I think Fury is going to pull off the victory once again, but I am admitting, going into this fight, that it is a very dangerous, risky fight for Fury and for Wilder himself. There's a lot on the line for both fighters. Obviously, Fury's heavyweight title on the line. Deontay Wilder, his career might be on the line, getting up there in age. I think he's about 35 or 36 years old. If he loses this fight, does he really want to, go back to fighting challengers to try and get back in line to challenge for a world title? I'm not sure. He's made a lot of money throughout his career. So like I say, I'm not sure he'll be willing to go back and get in line and fight guys like Andy Ruiz, Dillian White, although those are both fights that I'd really like to see. Among, all the other young heavyweights that are coming up and getting into the top 10, I'd like to see all those fights happen, to be honest, because Wilder is an exciting fighter. Now, in this fight, I am expecting Tyson Fury to try and use the same tactics that he used in the second fight that they had. Come out aggressive, try be on the front foot, try to get Deontay Wilder onto his back foot, push him back, because it looks to be, once Deontay Wilder's on the back foot, he's not the same fighter that he is when he's coming forwards. It also seems maybe even it takes a little bit of sting out of his right hand, takes a little bit of venom out of his power. When you put him on the back foot, when he's coming forwards, that right hand looks to be a lot more powerful. Now, I know he put Luis Ortiz out, kind of going backwards with the right hand, but in the rematch of Fury Wilder, we kind of saw Fury take a couple of good hard right hands from Deontay Wilder early in that fight, and yeah, he rode the power in those shots. He did ride the shots pretty well, and he was right on the end of the shots as well, but I think the fact that he had Deontay Wilder going backwards in that fight kind of took some of the weight and power out of those right hands that he took. So I think that's going to be a strategy once again, will be to push Deontay Wilder back, try and, make it a real fight, really try and put it on him, make it a physical fight. I think because Deontay Wilder really hasn't got an inside game, that is a really effective strategy, is if you can push Deontay Wilder back, get him on the ropes, and then close the distance, get on the inside, start to work his body, start to manhandle him, make the fight physical, because Tyson Fury is probably going to have about a 50-pound weight advantage going into this fight. I think Tyson Fury is going to come in about 19 stone for this fight, and Deontay Wilder is going to come in probably at about 220 for this fight. So it's going to be a massive weight and size advantage for Tyson Fury in this fight, and he'll look to make use of that. He's a big man that really knows how to fight big, so I think he's going to try and big man Deontay Wilder in this fight, lean on him, get up close, tight, hit him with short shots, because that's one thing as well we've seen with Deontay Wilder. He doesn't really know how to shorten up his shots. So when it's when they're fighting on the inside, Deontay Wilder kind of doesn't really know how to shorten up his shots, whereas Tyson Fury is a pretty exceptional inside fighter. And Tyson Fury is overall the more well-rounded boxer in this fight. We've seen Tyson Fury throughout his career show that he can, box southpaw, orthodox. He can fight on the inside or the outside, so he can pretty much beat you at anything, depending on what your weakness is. And we've seen he can outbox Deontay Wilder from the outside. However, that's pretty risky, because then you right on the edge for Deontay Wilder's power right hand. If you keep it on the outside, he can extend that long levers of his and hit you with that hard right hand and get maximum power on his shots. But if you close the distance on him, get on the inside, he seems to be pretty defenseless up close. and he hasn't quite got the footwork to create space. So that's a really effective strategy that Tyson Fury used in the second fight. But it is also can be dangerous, because when you're trying to come forwards, you could walk onto a big shot from Deontay Wilder. And I actually think Tyson Fury is getting hit more while trying to employ the strategy, trying to be more aggressive. You know, you take more risks, and you take more shots, but you also get to give off more shots and do more damage, which has seemed to be his strategy as of late, coming in heavier and trying to do a lot more damage to his opponents and try and get guys out of there. Even in sparring, you've been hearing all these rumors that he's been having a lot of tough spars against Jared Anderson and so on. And Jared Anderson is a very good skilled boxer as well, young boxer coming up, fighting on the undercard. Looking forward to that fight as well. Even in the interviews that I watched Fury in fight week, he has got, marks around his eyes, still like bruises around his eyes. So you can see he's been having some tough spars. And I think that's because of his strategy of trying to be more aggressive and trying to come forwards. He is taking more shots. So that could be, a risk in this fight, that he could get caught with a shot. But like I say, I think it diminishes Wilder's power a bit when you put him on the back foot, and also when you shorten up the range. Once you get inside on Wilder, I think Fury will be in complete control. But trying to get from the outside on the inside can be risky. But Fury's an educated, very smart boxer with a great boxing IQ. So he'll do it smartly. Obviously, he's not going to just walk straight in on Deontay Wilder and give Wilder a chance to load up with the right hand. He's going to use a lot of feints. He's going to use his jab. And I mean, we saw, obviously, he has a good stiff jab that he used in the last fight. And if he used that jab, I believe he'll be able to get onto the inside on Wilder pretty comfortably. Also, his footwork, a lot of feints, a lot of head feints, a lot of head movement when he comes through to get on the inside. So I do think he's going to be able to get up close on Wilder and be able to manhandle him, in tight on the inside. So that's how I'm expecting this fight to go. But I do think Wilder has probably made some improvements since the rematch. He's been working with Malik Scott, who, in my opinion, maybe never achieved that much in the sport of boxing, but was a very skillful, slick boxer and a very smart boxer, in my opinion. Now, I think in this fight we're going to see Deontay Wilder try a few new things. I mean, obviously he's not going to learn overnight or in 6 months how to outbox Tyson Fury. He's not going to have the same boxing IQ as Tyson Fury, or boxing skills or defense. You're just not going to be able to learn that in 6 months, because also Deontay Wilder, he's an older guy. Like the saying goes, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. In some cases, I think you can, but I don't think you're going to be able to teach Deontay Wilder how to outbox Tyson Fury in 6 months. But what I do think you can do is add to his game, because and improve him as a fighter, which I think they will have done, because in the rematch and in the first fight, his attack is just too predictable. It's too basic. There's no real deception to his attack. Every time he's looking to get off the right hand, he throws the jab out there to try touch you with the jab, then he follows it up with the big right hand. I mean, that's just, that 1-2 attack is just too basic to really catch Tyson Fury. And I know he caught Tyson Fury at the end of the first fight, but I think that was because Tyson Fury just got a bit overconfident, and I think he was a bit fatigued, having, that being his first real hard fight since dropping down from about 450 pounds and taking 3 years out the ring. So that attack, in my opinion, is just too basic. And for a highly skilled defensive boxer like Tyson Fury, you need to have a little bit more deception, and you need to know how to set your power up a little bit more, because Deontay Wilder obviously has that deadly right hand, so he's very dangerous. But I think he was lacking the ability of knowing really how to set it up on a guy like Tyson Fury, who has a longer reach and is taller than him, so he's on the outside. If Deontay Wilder's fighting a short guy, it's kind of easy for him to set up his right hand, because the guy's got to get in range to try and attack him, whereas Tyson Fury can stay on the outside and pick him apart. So I think we're going to see Wilder come in with a few more tricks up his sleeve on how to try and set up his right hand. I think we're going to see him use his jab a bit more, which I think is going to be very important in this fight. I think we're going to see him vary up the jab, maybe, double up the jab, maybe even try triple it up sometimes. I think he's going to jab to the body as well as to the head. I think we're going to see a little bit more head movement from Deontay Wilder. I think he's going to be changing levels a little bit more in this fight as well, trying to give Tyson Fury some different looks rather than just standing straight up in front of Tyson Fury and making yourself an easy target. So like I said, I think he's going to use head movement. I think he's going to change levels when he throws shots to try and make himself a little bit of a harder target to hit. And I think we're going to see him use more feints himself to try and set up his right hand, because it was just too predictable. It was that 1-2 trying to get the right hand off, jab, right hand, jab, right hand. That doesn't work against a guy with Tyson Fury's level of defense and boxing IQ. So I think in this fight he's going to be a lot more dangerous, because he's going to be using, like I say, his jab a lot more, which will set up the right hand more. If he's doubling and tripling that jab, it'll help slow Tyson Fury down and, you know, stabilize him and make Tyson Fury have to reset if he can use that jab. But like I said, I do think Tyson Fury even has the advantage when it comes to the jabbing. But, you know, the saying goes, don't hook with a hooker, but jab with a jabber. You know, so I think he's going to try and jab with Tyson. I think Tyson's got the better jab than him, but I think if he uses his jab more, that'll help set up the right hand. And like I say, change levels, a little bit more head movement from Deontay Wilder I'm expecting in this fight. But I think still, at the end of the day, I'm still thinking Tyson Fury is probably going to stop Deontay Wilder around the 8th or 9th round, maybe even the 10th round. I think Deontay Wilder, he's going to, you know, he's going to go for broke in this fight. So this is practically his career on the line. So I think he's going to go for broke. He's going to show a lot of heart in there. And we know he's coming in great shape. So he's going to, in my opinion, be pretty durable. And he's going to, you know, he showed he has heart in the second fight. So I'm not expecting him to, you know, get rolled over too quickly by Tyson Fury. But I do think Fury stops him in the trilogy as well. Probably in the second half of the fight. Like I say, anywhere from the 8th to the 10th round, I think Fury gets a stoppage. But I think it's important for Wilder to be aggressive in this fight, because, like I say, he's not going to outthink Tyson Fury. Now, yeah, he can use these new little setups and tricks and things he's been working on in camp with Malik Scott. He's going to have to use those to try set up the right hand. But the important thing is, I think, as well, which I've heard them say, is he's going to go to Tyson Fury's body in this fight. And I think that is important, because if he can land some hard jabs and straight right hands to the body, that can help set up that head shot as well when he tries to land that kill shot in Tyson Fury. So I think body work's going to be important in this fight for Wilder. I'm sure Fury's going to work the body as well, though. So it's going to be an interesting, exciting fight. I am expecting Tyson Fury to come out victorious once again. But for every moment Deontay Wilder's in the fight, he is a live dog and he is dangerous simply due to the right hand power that he possesses. So it is going to be an exciting fight that's going to keep you on the edge of your seat, because, like I say, he can knock anybody out at any time. So I'm definitely looking forward to this fight, but I'm expecting Tyson Fury to get the victory here once again, and then hopefully we get to move on to you know, fresher fights in the heavyweight division. But let me know in the comment section below who you guys think is going to win this fight. I'm picking Tyson Fury to win via second half of the fight stoppage. I think Tyson Fury's you know, boxing IQ and boxing skills will prevail once again. Let me know in the comment section who you guys are picking to win this fight. Thanks for listening. Talk to you guys again soon. Cheers.